Part 1. We have to start by tearing down this idea that modern life sells us constantly. The lie of comfort.
Oh yeah, that's fundamental.
We're basically told from day one, aren't we? Follow the rules, be polite, keep your head down.
Wait your turn.
Wait your turn. And eventually, life just gets easier. We soak that up. Comfort is the prize for just, complying.
It's the initial conditioning, right?
Yeah.
But these sources we're looking at, they are absolutely brutal about it, that belief. It's the single biggest roadblock to actual growth.
So the system doesn't care if you're patient.
Not really. The system, whether that's the economy, work, maybe even the universe, it rewards capacity, actual capability.
Not patience.
No, it rewards people who've built the internal wiring to adapt to pain, to process it faster than other people can even figure out where to hide from it next.
So the goal isn't an easier life.
No, never. The goal has to be getting fundamentally stronger. Always.
And there's a really interesting link here, isn't there, between expecting ease and how control works in society. If we expect comfort.
We're psychologically wide open, vulnerable.
How so?
Well, think about it. The illusion of ease is how control works. If people believe life should be smooth, frictionless, then the second things get hard or painful or just inconvenient, they give up their power, their agency.
You think something's wrong?
Exactly. They get tired enough not to question things, distracted enough not to, rise up. They just fall into distraction patterns.
Scrolling, shopping.
Binge watching,
Yeah.
medicating discomfort, anything to avoid that feeling of friction.
Wow. So chasing comfort becomes its own kind of prison.
It's a self-imposed chain, yeah. You start fearing losing the little bit of ease you have.
So you become compliant.
You stop pushing back.
Yeah.
Against the job, the system, whatever structures demand, you just stay put, stagnate.
It makes sense. If every little discomfort is numbed or self-soothed.
You never build the muscle needed for real adversity. You become easy to manage, easy to control.
Because you fear the effort needed for freedom.
You fear your own strength. Because real strength is unpredictable, uncontrollable. So they sell comfort, convenience, this illusion of freedom.
While keeping you chained to distraction.
And a deep, deep fear of struggle. Yeah.
Okay. So if comfort is the enemy, the big obstacle, we need to completely flip how we see its opposite, pain.
Yeah.
We're trained to numb it, avoid it, see it as failure. But these sources, they call pain the last honest teacher.
And that reframe is, it's crucial. Pain is honest. Unlike maybe, some people or systems. It doesn't lie. It's not punishment, it's calibration. It tells you exactly where you're weak, where the cracks are, where your capacity ends right now.
And if you run from it,
your world shrinks.
Instantly.
Limited by how far your fear reaches. But if you turn around, face it.
Your power grows.
Your power grows. Every single struggle, every setback.
Yeah.
It's just personalized training.
Yeah.
Deeply personalized.
Like you can't pay someone else to do your push-ups.
Exactly. You got to do the work yourself.
But here's a key point, right? We get all this advice. Heal, rest, self-soothe. How do these sources draw the line between, say, productive pain, the kind that builds you up, and just burning out? Or actual injury?
Yeah, that's important. The difference lies in conscious struggle. That's the key word.
Conscious struggle. Okay.
Productive pain is chosen. It's strategic. You put yourself under pressure deliberately to test those limits, like the 40% rule we'll get to.
Right.
Burnout, though, that's often from unconscious living, reactive, being pulled everywhere by outside demands with no solid inner core.
So the message isn't ignore injuries.
Absolutely not. It's reject the system that just wants to sedate your soul, the constant push for comfort over capability.
Sometimes the answer isn't a nap.
Sometimes the answer is you need to wake the hell up, reject the comfort path.
Wake up. Yeah.
Because the moment you figure out how to take that first hit of pain, that sensory input, and turn it into actual usable power,
You become more effective.
exponentially more effective. And yeah, dangerous to anything trying to manipulate you.
Yeah.
The mind that avoids necessary challenge, it just shrinks, atrophies,
But the mind that embraces that intentional forging.
finds real sovereignty, real freedom.
Okay, so we've established pain is needed, it's the teacher, but where does the real change start? The sources say it's not gradual, it starts with a collapse, a breaking point.
Yeah, the night everything burns down.
Metaphorically hopeful?
Hopefully.
Wait.
But yeah, pretty much every major transformation story in these texts starts with some kind of catastrophic failure.
Or a deep emotional rock bottom, the safety net disappearing.
Exactly. And most people see that moment, the breakup, the bankruptcy, losing the job as the end, game over.
But this philosophy says no, that's the start.
It's the necessary beginning. Why? Because that intense pain strips away all the comfortable illusions, the stuff you built around yourself to feel safe.
All the denial.
All of it. When everything comfortable is gone, what's left? Just raw, unvarnished truth. And that truth, that's the only thing strong enough to build a new foundation on.
So the failure forces the honesty you might have been dodging for years.
Precisely. Which leads us straight to the main tool for starting and keeping this change going. The accountability mirror.
And this isn't about gentle self-care affirmations.
Oh God, no. This is radical, non-negotiable, brutal self-honesty.
The altar where excuses go to die. I like that description.
It's a core law here. You must face yourself exactly as you are right now. Or you get eaten alive by the comfortable, underperforming version you're pretending to be.
So stop blaming luck, fate, other people.
Stop all of it. Strip away the filters, the rationalizations. Take total ownership. You can't build real power on a foundation of comfortable lies. It just doesn't work.
The David Goggins story is probably the most powerful illustration of this. Can you walk us through that mirror moment? It makes it so real.
Yeah, Goggins is kind of the ultimate case study here. He was, by his own admission, overweight, stuck in a dead-end job he hated, completely underperforming his potential.
And living on excuses.
A mountain of them, collected over years. His transformation didn't kick off with hitting the gym. It started by literally standing in front of his bathroom mirror.
And just looking.
Looking and seeing. Not the guy he wished he was, not the guy he told himself he was, but the actual reflection staring back.
Yeah.
Forcing that confrontation.
And the way he made that honesty stick was intense. Writing down his flaws.
Yeah, that's the method. He turned that mirror into a battlefield, not a spa.
Rah.
He wrote down the raw, ugly truths. Things like, I'm fat, I'm lazy, I'm not trying, I'm lying to myself. Wrote them on sticky notes.
And put them around the mirror.
Plastered them all around it. So every morning, boom, confrontation. Each note was like ammunition in this war he declared on his own weakness.
Wow. Talk about self-administered shock therapy.
That's basically what it was, that brutal confrontation.
Yeah.
That's what finally freed him, because he had nowhere left to hide from the truth.
That act, though, writing down those things, facing them every single day, it sounds incredibly painful. Why is denial so much easier for most of us? What's the cost of denial?
Because facing that mirror means taking total responsibility. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's terrifying for most people.
Denial is like an anesthetic.
Exactly. It numbs the pain of just stagnating, makes it bearable. When you finally look in that mirror and admit, I am living below my potential, you face the awful truth that you are the one in your own way.
Oof. Yeah.
And that immense pain you feel in that moment, that resistance, that's the sound of the old you, the comfort-seeking you, dying.
And that death is necessary.
Absolutely necessary. You have to destroy the old story to make room for the new, more capable self. The enemy you refuse to name, the weakness you deny, that's what eventually gets you, through complacency.
But once you admit the raw truth,
Even if it hurts like hell, your life becomes yours again, because you've taken back ownership of the narrative.
okay, so you've faced the mirror, you've accepted the brutal truth. What's next? It's not just thinking about it. The sources talk about the forge, intentional suffering.
Right, this is where the theory meets the road,
Yeah.
or the mud, or the cold shower.
This redefines pain again, doesn't it? Not as punishment, but as...
Tuition. The tuition fee for power. That's a great way to put it. It's the mechanism for building capacity. Suffering is the furnace. It shapes potential into actual greatness.
like muscles needing to be torn to grow.
Exactly. We know this physically. Muscles grow from micro tears. Steel hardens when it's hammered and plunged into cold water. Comfort. Comfort is the enemy here.
Because it leads to atrophy, kills potential.
It absolutely kills potential. Strength isn't something you just find lying around. It's forged. By deliberately choosing discomfort, training your nervous system, your mind, to lean into the pain.
Instead of negotiating with it.
Stop negotiating. Start using it as fuel.
So all the hard stuff, the mud runs, the exhaustion, getting rejected, failing, those aren't setbacks.
They are conditioning, capital C. That's how you have to see them. This is the core of embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck, okay?
Every elite performer, every soldier, every real innovator gets this. If you want to be resilient, capable, unstoppable,
Yeah.
you have to suffer on purpose.
When you choose the suffering.
It doesn't delay victory. It creates the capacity for it. The second you reclassify suffering in your own head from escape this
Yeah.
to this is training, you cross this invisible line
Between the weak and the strong.
between the perpetually weak and the truly powerful.
Yeah.
It's not just being tough, it's strategic capacity building. It's smart.
Let's make this concrete. There's that boxer anecdote in the sources. The unknown guy in the broken garage.
Right. It's guy, totally overlooked. No fancy gym, no sponsors. Training alone in a freezing garage half the time, people kind of laughed at him.
But years later,
Dominant world champion. And when the reporters finally asked him, what changed? New coach, big money.
what did he say?
He just said, nothing changed on the outside. I just stopped quitting when it hurt.
Wow.
His real change wasn't tactics or gear, it was internal. His relationship with pain fundamentally shifted
He stopped fighting it.
and started feeding off it. He saw the suffering not as a problem, but as the guarantee he'd be better than everyone else who wasn't willing to feel it.
That idea the transformation is entirely internal. That's key for building these mental calluses, right? Doing the hard things consistently, especially the stuff nobody sees.
That's the critical part, the unseen acts. Building mental armor requires choosing one discomfort daily. Maybe it's a cold shower. Maybe it's running when you're already tired.
Or studying that dense textbook when you want to scroll social media.
Or making that difficult phone call you've been putting off for weeks. Yes. When you consistently choose friction, deliberately.
Hardship becomes initiation.
Hardship is your initiation. Adversity isn't a curse anymore. It's your most demanding and therefore best mentor. You prove to your own mind day after day, I am in command here.
Not the discomfort, not the fear.
Exactly. You're the commander, not the commanded.
And this constant pushing leads us to maybe the most famous idea from these sources, the 40% rule.
Ah, yes, the big one.
This idea that our brain lies to us about our limits.
It's a fundamental psychological, even biological trick our minds play. The sources are really clear on this. When your brain hits the panic button, screaming, stop, you're done.
You're only at 40%. Really?
Typically, yeah. Around 40% of your actual total capacity, physical and mental.
Yeah.
Your body's main job is survival, right? Conserve energy, avoid pain.
So the excuses show up way before the real limit.
Long before. Your brain starts negotiating, rationalizing, finding perfectly logical reasons to quit way before your physiology is actually tapped out.
So that feeling of pain that I'm done feeling,
Yeah.
It's not a stop sign.
It's an invitation. That's the reframe.
An invitation to what?
An invitation to see if the limits you think are real actually are, to push back against the brain's safety mechanism.
But how do you know the difference between the brain's lie and genuine physical danger?
That 40% mark is the point of maximum psychological resistance. That's where your primitive brain starts throwing up all the logical reasons to stop. It feels utterly real. The true capacity, that other 60%, is locked behind that mental wall. The invitation is to push just a little past it.
Just 10% more.
Even just 10% past that mental stop sign consistently. That extra mile, that extra hour of deep work, that extra set in the gym. When you do that repeatedly,
You build physical capacity, sure, but you also...
rewire the brain's stop mechanism itself. You teach it that its initial signals aren't the final word.
And that's where you collect your destiny. I remember that phrase, the stuff that's otherwise collecting dust.
That's exactly it. That little bit of extra effort, the part most people won't do because it feels too hard. That's where the magic happens.
That's where you get the edge.
That's where you get the capacity that separates you from the 95% who stop at the first real sign of discomfort. The strength, the skill, the success you want, it's not hidden. It's just sitting there in the effort you've been avoiding.
That extra 10% turns confidence into
Dominance. Because you've proven again and again, mainly to yourself, that your inner whining doesn't dictate your actions.
Okay, so you're committed, you're embracing the suck, pushing past 40%, but how do you keep going? When you hit the wall, fatigue is screaming, doubt sounds like pure logic.
Right, because that will happen. You need fuel for those moments.
Yeah.
And that's where the necessity of reflection comes in.
It's not just pain, but pain plus reflection.
Exactly. Pain alone can break you. Pain reflected upon, understood, archived. That builds you. This is about systematically gathering evidence, proof.
To use when your mind is failing you.
Precisely. You need to consciously pull from a mental vault when you're under extreme pressure. And that vault is what these sources call the cookie jar.
The cookie jar. It sounds comforting, but the cookies are past pain.
Huh. Yeah, kinda. It's the archive where you deliberately store proof. Proof of past victories, sure, but more importantly, proof of surviving darkness.
Yeah.
Battles you won against insane odds.
These aren't just warm, fuzzy memories.
No, they are specific receipts of resilience. Hard evidence.
Why is memory so much stronger than logic when you're at your absolute limit?
Because when you're totally wrecked, exhausted, maybe physically hurt, facing disaster, logic becomes your enemy.
How so?
Logic will give you a million perfectly sound reasons to quit. It's too hard. You might get injured worse. The risk isn't worth it. You deserve a rest. Logic under extreme stress is unreliable. It serves the primitive brain's desire to stop.
But memory.
Memory carries you.
Yeah.
The vivid recall of past times you overcame something impossible. That's visceral.
Yeah.
It bypasses the scared, logical brain.
It's proof.
It's empirical proof. Your mind recorded every detail of how tough you were then, even if your current, tired self has forgotten. It's an irrefutable argument against doubt.
Let's look at the case studies. Goggins using his cookie jar during ultramarathons. How did that work in practice?
Goggins is the textbook example again. During insane races like Badwater 135 running 135 miles through Death Valley in summer.
Unimaginable.
Right. His body would be failing, feet bleeding, organs protesting. His rational mind is just screaming, "Stas OP, this is stupid, you're gonna die."
So what did he do?
He didn't argue with the logic. He systematically pulled specific memories from his mental cookie jar. Overcoming childhood abuse, surviving Hell Week multiple times in SEAL training, losing over 100 pounds.
Not just thinking, I'm tough. He recalled the details.
The visceral details, the feeling of the pain then. That memory wasn't just looking back. It was proof he'd endured equivalent, or worse, suffering and survived. That evidence fueled him past points where pure logic said collapse was inevitable.
That's powerful. And there's also that counterpoint example, the physical jar, making resilience tangible.
Yeah, I love that one. The woman who kept an actual physical box filled with handwritten notes, objects.
Not just sentimental stuff.
No, these were artifacts of major wins, like the hospital discharge papers after beating cancer, the final divorce decree after a brutal split representing rebuilding, the first business plan after going bankrupt.
Wow. Real receipts.
Totally real. When she faced a new crisis, something overwhelming, she wouldn't just try to think positive thoughts. She'd open the box, look at the evidence, prove she'd fought and won worse battles before.
That physical act must have been grounding.
Immensely grounding. It made her resilience undeniable, visible, touchable.
So this whole process, pulling up these memories, these receipts, it awakens the warrior within.
That's exactly what it does. It activates stored power, validated power. It reminds your current, struggling self that the capacity you need right now isn't something new you have to find.
It's something you already have, you just need to remember it.
You need to remember it. You've already survived things that should have broken you. The cookie jar is your personal armory, reminding you with cold, hard facts you can take more pain than your tired mind believes is possible right now.
Okay. Honesty, intentional suffering, sustained endurance via the cookie jar. Now we get to the final stage, maybe the hardest, the inner war.
The ultimate battlefield, the mind.
The sources say mastery isn't about controlling the world.
It's about controlling yourself. That's the only real control you have. This is emotional alchemy, turning suffering not just into fuel, but into permanent self-control.
What does it mean, emotional alchemy?
Most people are slaves to their feelings, right? Fear hits, they stop. Anger hits, they lash out. Sadness hits, they collapse. They drown in it. They confuse a feeling with fate.
Mastery is different.
Totally different. Mastery is about interpreting the signals. The master uses pain as data, immediate, useful data. Fear is a signal, a warning flare maybe, but it's not a sentence. It doesn't automatically mean stop or run.
Freedom comes from commanding your mind while you're in the struggle.
Yes, inside the storm. If you can't govern your own internal state, your own turbulent emotions, then every person, every event, every external force has the power to control you, to enslave you.
And this self-control, it's not like you achieve it once and you're done. The sources call it a perishable skill.
It absolutely is. Like a muscle, it needs constant work, daily maintenance, through that internal dialogue.
Which requires introspection.
Daily, relentless, conscious introspection. One source calls it spring cleaning in those dark cupboards of your unconscious mind.
Going into the scary places.
You have to actively go there, where your biggest fears live, your demons, your self-sabotaging patterns. You have to confront the ugly truths about yourself daily.
The resentments, the laziness, the times you failed yourself.
All of it. The stuff that's not comfortable to look at. That confrontation is essential for psychological growth. You have to know your inner enemy. And usually, the worst enemy is the hidden part of you.
And this internal dialogue is framed as an actual battle, right? Creating the winning voice.
It is a battle. The voice telling you to quit. The self-hating inner talk, the piece of shit voice, as Goggins bluntly calls it.
Yeah.
That's often the authentic voice of your past. Your scared self. The comfortable hiding self that wants things to stay the same, even if it's miserable.
So how do you create the winning voice?
Through diligent, consistent, unseen work. You put in the reps facing the mirror, embracing the suck, using the cookie jar until you forge a second voice, a dominant voice.
One that speaks with authority.
Authority born from proved endurance, not fake positivity. You practice this inner self-command until you reach a point where you can hear all those negative, scared, logical voices and still execute without hesitation.
Freedom isn't no struggle.
Freedom is commanding your mind inside the hardest moments of the struggle. That's real power.
And the peak of this, the result of all this relentless inner work, psychological asymmetry, or taking souls. That sounds intense.
It is intense. It's the point where you shift from just surviving adversity to actively dominating it.
How does that work? How do you take someone's soul?
It's about what happens when you're in deep pain, physical, emotional, whatever, and you keep going with precision, with composure. When your opponent, or just the challenging situation itself, sees that.
Sees you not breaking.
Sees you operating flawlessly under maximum pressure. It breaks them psychologically. You become the thing that adversity itself starts to fear.
It's not about revenge then.
No. It's about providing undeniable, embodied proof that you will not fold. You keep attacking the past, the doubt, the competition, until they know, deep down, he is not going to give up. You show them your limit is way beyond theirs. They quit mentally long before you do.
And bringing this all back, this mastery connects to rejecting that initial lie of comfort. The final reward is sovereignty.
That's the whole point of the journey. The world pushes comfort and compliance because compliant people are easy to manage, easy to control. They don't question things.
So rejecting that past.
Rejecting it, choosing the friction, enduring the pain. It makes you anti-fragile. You literally get stronger from the hits.
And the ultimate prize.
You can no longer be manipulated by fear. Once you understand your own capacity, once you face your own demons and come out the other side, external threats lose their power over you.
Pain becomes the path to freedom.
Pain becomes the path to genuine freedom, to internal sovereignty. You own yourself.
Wow. Okay, so we've really unpacked a challenging philosophy today. It seems to boil down to this holy trinity of power we've talked through.
Yeah, that's a good way to frame it.
The accountability mirror that brutal honesty. The forge intentional struggle, embracing the suck. And the cookie jar using memory, those receipts of resilience for endurance.
The mirror, the forge, the cookie jar. Honesty, struggle, memory.
And the core message. Pain isn't punishment. It's an invitation. It's the blacksmith's hammer knocking off the weakness.
Absolutely. And the struggle is non-negotiable because privilege might open doors, sure, but it will never, ever teach you the raw capacity that pain forces you to build.
The world benefits from our weakness.
The default setting of the world benefits profoundly from your weakness, your distraction, your compliance. So true rebellion, true self-actualization in this day and age.
It's just becoming stronger.
Becoming relentlessly stronger, harder to control, harder to manipulate. If you want real growth, lasting growth, the path goes straight through the fire. There's no detour.
So the final thought for everyone listening, as you think about your own challenges, you face a choice. Every single day, you can keep numbing yourself, settling for comfortable mediocrity, maybe waiting for someone or something else to rescue you.
Yeah.
Or you can decide to consciously use your pain, your struggles, as a tool, as fuel.
Because if you don't,
If you're not willing to harness your own pain to build your own sovereignty, history, and these sources, strongly suggest that someone else or the system itself will spot that vulnerability, and they will use it against you. So go collect your destiny. Don't leave it collecting dust.